Hey y'all, I'm Lachlan, and I wanted to do a tour of my island of Annahlia. It is Cottagecore and Springcore themed. JB and Millie here on YouTube also did a tour of it as well, and I'll make sure to include a link to their video in the description box below. I wanted to tour my own island myself also, because I wanted to give you guys my thoughts as to why I decorated certain areas the way I did, kind of give you some some behind the scenes type of feedback on the island as a whole, and kind of just give you some added details that you wouldn't normally get unless you kind of heard from the creator themselves. So I just kind of wanted to put this video out there for anybody to see, and mainly for myself, just to kind of time capsule what work I did on this island and all the effort that I put into it. I will be resetting this island, however you will see the dream address in my map when you see that here shortly. But I am videoing this intro today on a separate day than when I recorded the tour. Only because the quality of my first introduction was not very good, and this is my first ever video I'm putting out there, so be patient with me as I'm kind of learning this process. But I did want to reintroduce myself and kind of redo my intro because I wasn't very proud of my first one. So you'll see me change clothes, the time of day will be different, but I hope you enjoy my rendition of a tour. Thanks. Here's my entrance. Here is the flag that I made for my island. It's very simple, it's nothing too extravagant, but I did want to make basically just a giant tree for my island flag. I didn't think I'd ever be one to create a design for myself, but that's what this is. So here's my entrance. My airport is blue, and one thing I want to show off, even though it is something that I kind of left for last on my island, is basically the rainbow flower field I have here. I wanted to include every flower that you can produce in game. I, however, did not get that lucky, and I did not make a lot of these flowers myself. So a lot of these were gifted from other people in some discords that I was in. So thankful for them. These black cosmos will never be made by me, unfortunately, but I'm thankful for other people being talented enough to do that for me. So that is right here off of my airport, and then as you kind of look at the entrance to my island, I wanted to make it where you didn't really see what was going on in the distance. You couldn't see resident services, you couldn't kind of see pretty much anything really until you progressed into my island when you came and visited. So that's kind of where these large terraforming areas kind of came into play. But very quickly, before I move along, let me show you my map and my villagers. So there is the dream address if you want to come visit. But I have Chevra, Bee, Eric, Scoot, Poppy, Dottie, Muffy, Blair, Nan, and Grizzly. So moving into my island, I've got just a tiny little cafe here, and then up along this ramp is Abel's sisters. I didn't give them a very large yard or anything because I didn't have a lot to work with before you get to resident services, which is over there in the distance. But I did want to include it on a second tier above where Nook's Cranny is. So down here is Nook's Cranny, kind of besides, managing the shop that Timmy and Tommy do. They come over here in the mornings, they park their bikes, they might fuel up if they happen to be electric, but they aren't, unfortunately. But down here, they also manage a cafe. So this is kind of reminiscent of my first island, where one of the first things that I built was a cafe. It was nothing too extravagant, nothing too crazy or large, but I kind of wanted to make an ode to that here by making a little beach location of a cafe. And so here's kind of where Timmy and Tommy manage their little cafe that they've got going. Moving, and I totally forgot to pick this up. Moving this way, we've got a little library area here, and then Scoot is moving right along on the beach with his little orange soda, cutie. This walk right here, you can't really tell when you visit, but it is really pretty at night. I've got all of these Nova lights here that lead up the beach and lead up to this moon chair that's over here, and it's just really pretty, and the ambiance is really nice, and it just glows really well, and that's one of my favorite spots at nighttime. So I kind of wish that we could, you know, have 2 dream addresses available for the same island where people could visit, at least. Now, when you come along this way, and I kind of picked it up earlier, but when you visit, you'll see these little beans sitting here on this stone stool where you can feed the ducks. And I thought that was just a neat little thing I wanted to include. And you'll find little tools like that scattered throughout the island, and I won't ruin all the surprises for you, but that is one that I wanted to point out in case, you know, you aren't able to find any of the tools. At least you know there's a few of them that I'll point out today. And so moving up the beach and moving across my very first bridge that I built on the island. It's still here. It's gonna stay here. It still fits the theme. And then here to the left is just like a little rest stop, some more bikes, a little snack area, water fountain, you know, just kind of a little area there. And then moving to the right on my beach here, there is a little place where you can do some yoga and just listen to the ocean. I have caught Blair here before doing some yoga on this very mat. You can probably see a picture of it on my Instagram. But yeah, I'm glad that the villagers actually utilize some of the spaces that I make. Now this is my peninsula, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do here. A lot of times I build up, but for this, and I don't remember where I saw it, I did see in a video of somebody doing an island tour where they, instead of, you know, landscaping, you know, building up with land, they waterscaped. So, and I'd never seen that on a peninsula before, and I thought that was really neat to just have a lot of water instead of a lot of land here. So I kind of did that whole build up effect with the stones here, and yeah, added some water and some waterfalls. And then back here is a little area for laundry. And then a little secret area is back behind the laundry area where these, you know, rocks are accessible to. Wanted to add some stuff here because you could access it. So there's a little creepy well back here, a bamboo noodle slide, and then obviously some little seating areas. Now let's go further left. A scary scorpion back here. But here's my campsite, and then you can see the little Mario 1-up star back there. And then another little secret area. I do have some tents here, as you can see, but like kind of right behind this little rock guy here is just a little memorial / ode to 2 previous family dogs that passed away. The one on the left being Sugar, who passed most recently back in November of 2020. So I made this little area for the 2 family pets that have passed. I have 3 dogs of my own with my husband, but these were 2 that my parents owned technically, but I kind of grew up around, so I kind of did that little memorial area there for them. Now I can move further left, and you can certainly do that when you come visit. I did try to make a lot of different ways to get to areas and just have access a lot, make it more accessible for everybody, where if you do get stuck somewhere, I will give you tools so you can get unstuck, but I did want to make it where you don't necessarily get lost. However, there are quite a bit of items. It is jam-packed. I feel weird by not putting an item in every inch of this place, so if you do get lost, just follow the pathing that I have. But I do want to show you that you could go up and see all that I showed up above, or you can go this way and, like I said, follow the pathing, and you will see, and you probably saw some of it already, this giant lake. It's another thing that seemed to be popular at one time. I'm sure there's still people doing it, but it's something I definitely wanted to include, was just a giant body of water in the middle of my island, mine being on the right side, and so this took a long time to dig out, but yeah, it is pretty. I will say it's not very very practical during in-game events, as in the Pave Festival event. There were feathers hovering over that, body of water a lot of the time, and I couldn't access them, and it was a little sad, but Muffy is just living her best life. Now, before I move further left, there is a little spot here. It's just a little sitting area, a little stargazing area. Then you can kind of see back there is where, we just were, and then the campsite is over that way. But here is resident services. Muffy is just chilling, and then to the left is my soccer field. On my first island, I built a gigantic soccer field. It was one of my prized possessions, and so I wanted to include it on this one as well, and I even included it on my other island, my third island too. I guess I just really like using the giant goals, plus I played soccer growing up quite often, so this was kind of bringing back that little piece that I miss doing. I really miss playing soccer. And then here's some bikes. Oh. Okay. I'm glad it's in mint condition. Alright, thank you, Bee. And actually that's a good point for her to come and find me and talk to me. Because if you look at Bee, she just looks like a brown dog. She was another one of those villagers I not had to have, but I really wanted her because our dog Sugar that passed that I previously mentioned was just a brown dog. But as close, I would say Bee looks the closest like how Sugar looked. So I really wanted Bee on my island. In fact, her and I are neighbors, and I will show you that later on the tour. So here is my rock garden. Now this is the second rock garden I've ever done. They always take forever, but I wanted them to all be in one spot, obviously, so hence the rock garden. So this was my rendition of that. There's a bunch of art pieces, you can play chess, and then back here is just a little farm area. I really didn't know what to do for this area, so a little farm just seemed fitting for that spot. Let's move behind the soccer field and to the right, and we'll go on up behind resident services. So behind Res, you can see across this bridge is the little pub that is ran by Scoot the duck. He runs the little pub here, and when you visit, here's another little sneak peek for you. You will be able to have one of these to visit the pub. So make sure you pick up your shamrock shake or soda or whatever else you may want to call it, when you come visit. And CJ, I'm gonna need you to move. So Poppy's house is right here, and he shares it next door to Blair, and they share this little space right here. And maybe they manage the little farm that's right here. And then moving this way, we've got Dottie's house and Muffy's house, and they have this little space. And then Muffy, the little goth queen that she is, has her own little area. And then down here is the park. So I wanted to include a little park, you know, something small, but, you know, cutesy, a lot of seating areas, and my villagers love hanging out here, so I'm very glad that I ended up building it because they hang out there all the time. Let's move on up, and to the left, you will see more sitting areas, and then up here is where my museum is. So I wanted to move my museum kind of offset all the way to the back where you can't really get to it, but you have to do a little trek. So it is on the toppest tier that it can, and there's a lot going on in terms of fossils and things that he likes to collect. Unfortunately, there are bugs here. Sorry, Blathers. And so that's that area. And if it is a little difficult to kind of navigate sometimes, this being one of those areas you have to go behind something, so a large mass of land is kind of blocking your view, but I believe in y'all. I think you can do it. So to the north, upwards, is my little train station, and as you can see, there is a little train right there, and you can faintly see it, and probably faintly hear it because I did put a little generator back there to kind of mimic train sounds. And then this is the back of my island, one of those things that was popular and probably still is. I really enjoy this, where it's like a flower field with, you know, those giant windmills essentially. And yeah, I really like this. And this view is really good, and it's a picture that I'm sure you would like to take when you come visit too. So the train leads to nowhere, but if you come down here, this is my, you know, secret beach where Red is, the sketch, you know, fox that he is. He has, you know, all the coins he needs and all the pirate area, all the pirate stuff. So yeah, that's all there for him. Now let's go this way, and then I'll head more towards the left. Here is Grizzly's house, and he, you know, even though his yard doesn't seem like much, he actually manages the orchard that we have back here. So my island fruit is, oh hey balloon, is apples. So I didn't want to include too many apples because you'll probably see them throughout the island. So there's a couple apple trees, but mainly more, I think 6 of each other type of fruit tree. Little porty potty back there. And yeah, so this is the orchard that Grizzly manages, and then there's a little overlook here for that place down below, which is also kind of a nice little picture area where you can pick up one of these. And this is the cutest little item to me. I love this pennant. I had to include it. I mean, who doesn't like that cute little face that your villager makes when it waves the flag? Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna hang on to this the whole time. Yes. You can pick that item up right here when you come and visit, because I just thought it was too adorable not to. And let's go more left, and then we'll go up. Headed upwards. A lot of seating areas, a lot of fires on the beach, because, you know, it might get chilly at night. It's still springtime, at least it's spring on this island. Another little campsite back here. Nice place to like relax, maybe take care of some flowers, and then we head on back down. And kind of navigating through here, there's another little yoga slash, you know, tanning area, if you may. And like I said, always follow the path. So there's a path going down this way, and here is the pottery area. You can make pottery, you can paint, and even paint with some wine or sparkling cider. Painting with a twist, if you may call it. Or if you want to refill, it's a place right here, but essentially it's painting and drinking. I thought that was a cute idea. I wanted to include it, especially since we have these adorable flutes from New Year's. And if you're curious to know where the wine comes from, that is managed by Nan and Chevra, who live right next door to each other, and they have a vineyard together. And I know, it's cute. It really is. But yeah, I've seen several renditions of a vineyard before, but this is kind of my version of it, where I did stunted trees and then the little grape, headpieces. Now, on their beachfront, they have a little place here. Run past this music real quick. To fish, and this is my little pier. I'm sorry, I can't get over that pennant. And then they've got some more art pieces down on the beach, a little place to lay. They've got a little apiary area with a little bee friend here. And then if you went further right across this bridge, you'd get to my rainbow flower field and then my entrance. But I've got one more area to show you, and then that's it. So moving on up this way and up this cliff area. But if you come back down this way, there is one more villager that we haven't seen, is Eric. And this is where his house is right here. He's a lazy villager, he likes to eat. So I've got food items here for him, but he also has his own little farm that he takes care of. And moving up, I will show you where Bee and I live. So Bee's house, I wanted to put next door to me as soon as she, joined the island. Once I found a place for my house, I gave up part of my yard so that she could be here too, so we could live here together. I'm not a big fan of pink, however, I thought it was fitting for her. She just is cute, and I thought cute, pink, why not? So this is the only area that you will find, besides my flower field, pink mums. So those are here for her, and she really takes care of them. She waters flowers often, even though her house interior is a cafe. Now moving on back, you have to go behind, unfortunately you have to go behind Bee's house to get to my house, but here is my house, and I will go inside and show it to you. So this first room is kind of just the dining area / a small tiny little kitchenette, and then I have some laundry over here as well. Try not to pan too quickly. I realize I'm probably talking and moving along quite quick, but I'm trying to make this not too long. And then in this room is the bedroom. We got a little puppy here. And yeah, all these lovely little knickknacks. One thing that you won't notice when you visit, because it'll be during the same time frame as this is now, so it'll be, the 10 a.m. time slot, is I don't use inside lighting in houses, but I do include a lot of illuminating lights where when it turns nighttime in game, all the lights that are inside provide the light for the room without needing to turn the overhead lights on. I just feel like they're too harsh. So yeah, you'll see a lot of little light fixtures here and there. All right, the left room is kind of an attic space. It's basically a storage room. Really very, very reminiscent of my actual storage room that I have here at the house. It's very fitting because there's a lot of clutter here, and I feel like my storage room is just like this. So a lot of forgotten items, a lot of random items, cobwebs, you know, past hobby attempts that you no longer do, you know, right, the usual storage space items. And to the right is the bathroom, and not much to say. When you visit, just kind of listen when you're in this room, because there is a lot of water going on. The dispenser here, or I don't even remember what this is called. The infuser, that's what it is. They all put off a sound that just sounds really pretty. Yeah, very serene in this bathroom. Saying very much about it. Now the basement. I'm sure you're expecting something dark and dreary. I have done that before, but this time around I wanted this to be light and airy, and like I mentioned before, I don't like to use overhead lighting, so using the cafe walls where it brings in kind of that natural lighting, and you know, the candles from the wedding event items and that sort of thing. I wanted the basement to be more lit up than dark. And then the final space is the attic. So I wanted the attic to be, you know, it's higher up, it's in the sky, so what do you think of stars and galaxies and you know, just dream suite type things? So that's what I had to use for this. So this room is the best at nighttime. There's a lot of illuminating lights in here, Nova lights, moon chairs, a lot of star frags on the floor. Yeah, I really like this room. It's just very peaceful. So I think that's the last in this house. Let me move to another area and then I'll do the outro. So thank you for bearing with me and, you know, enjoying this island tour with me. Even if not a lot of people watch this, I just kind of wanted to put this out there for myself, really, to kind of just put a moment in time as to all of the work that I put into this island. I might go back and, you know, do visit the dream address, my first ever island. It's kind of set in Christmas time, so I might wait until I'm craving the holiday spirit a little bit more. But yeah, I'm excited that I'm putting this out there, and check the links in the description box, and thank you for watching.